My name's Mary Sense. I was adopted when I was a baby from an organization called The Cradle in Evanston, Illinois.
My name is Danny Marr, and I was 3.5 when I was adopted in Bogota, Colombia.
I'm Steve Kelb. I'm a Korean adoptee. I was born in Jeonju, Korea, and raised on a small farm in Iowa. I was adopted when I was 1.
My name is Lisa McClellan. I was adopted as an infant. I was about 2 months old out of foster care.
So my name is Brian Ravi Nesmith. I am from Calcutta, India. I am now 37 years old, and I was also at the IMH Adoption Center.
Adoption is often a misunderstood experience. We are coming together as BIPOC adoptees to share stories from around the world with the hopes of providing education, context, and perspective to this complex topic. As humans, we are all born with a need for belonging. In our desire to make sense of the world, we look to others to find where and how we fit into the story of our lives. Sometimes that path to belonging is clear, and sometimes it's a bit more complicated.
And so I wasn't quite brown enough to be brown. Definitely wasn't white enough to be white.
My parents would talk about how they didn't like illegal immigrants, or actually what they like to call illegal aliens. And so after I found out like who I was, I assumed everyone kind of felt that way about Mexicans.
And at the time, growing up in that situation, you feel a difference, but it's also normal because that's all I've ever known, was being the odd one out and being different and sticking out.
You know, they told me not to tell people that I was adopted because, I mean, already we're kind of like an immigrant family.
The emotional and mental strain caused by the unique nature of being a BIPOC adoptee has real consequences in our lives. The desire for a strong sense of belonging is disrupted by big questions that start in childhood and grow more complicated into adulthood. Where did I come from? Who do I look like? What is my history and how am I a part of yours? Who am I? Do I belong here?
This project is born from a desire to see BIPOC adoptees' voices elevated in the conversations around adoption. Our experiences are valid, and we want other BIPOC adoptees to know that you're not alone.
I wish that society understood that adoption is complex. And I wish that individuals in society, family, friends, and people I don't even know, took the time to pause and really internalize the complexity and why adoptee voices are so important in the conversation of adoption.
In society today, we put each other in boxes, and as soon as you're born, you're labeled, especially with like your growing up, your gender, your age, like everything is put in a category, and you have to apparently process the same way everybody else does, but everybody's different, and that's important to recognize.
And so there was that like tag in between of not feeling enough, but I think as I've grown, I really have leaned into that idea of like, no, I am enough, and I am Colombian, and you can't take the facts and the rights like away from me.
Like open communication and just talking about these kind of things regularly and destigmatizing, normalizing these kind of issues has been so healthy and so healing for me and my family. I cannot stress enough how important it is to be talking about this kind of stuff.
So this idea of safety has always kind of eluded me, and once I had started to find this community and started thinking about being a transracial adoptee, being a BIPOC adoptee, that's when I finally thought, wow, this feels safe to me. It feels safe to talk about these things with, these other people.
This ongoing series will highlight honest conversations about mental health, grief and loss, estrangement, and reunification from the important point of view of the adopted person. If you want to lend your voice or your support, please reach out.